Welcome to another episode of the Roll for Crit podcast. I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes. As you can see, we have a new addition to our set today.
Table!
This table, and this brand new fancy-dancy TV in the back that will be showcasing all our images and things like that for you. Right now it's got our beautiful logo up there. So we're going to try our hardest not to turn around and crane our necks constantly to see what's going on behind us. But you'll be able to see that, and hopefully that'll add a little bit of color and life to our fine family here at Roll for Crit.
Assuming that you're watching this and not just listening.
If you're just listening, then just imagine, as you've always done, that there are things in the background. We talked a lot about X-Wing in the last week, didn't we?
Why not stop?
Yeah, why not stop? Well, we're not stopping. There's more. So I just thought that this is not really a huge piece of news, but I just thought it was funny to mention. They're showing off the Imperial Raider, which is being added.
Right, for the Armada.
Armada. So you can see the size relative of the original Imperial Raider for X-Wing compared to that, how it is for Armada. I just really enjoy the difference in scale between the two. From this box to this little bitty thing.
It's definitely very interesting. And correct me if I'm wrong, this ship is actually, this is the first time in Star Wars we've seen this ship. Like, it wasn't in any...
Besides X-Wing.
That's what I meant. I meant like this ship was created.
Oh wait, no. Oh, you mean like outside of the movies? Yeah. No, I don't think so. Was it? I don't know.
All right, but I mean,
I don't think so.
Well, the scale thing also shows the reason why Armada exists. Like, see how small this ship is, and then you compare it to like the actual Star Destroyer. Now imagine if they tried to put that in X-Wing.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
All right, so we have our Raider. That's our table, and we play on top of the Raider. No, the Raider.
It'd be a real challenge. Yeah, we're still waiting for someone to set up their game of Armada that you zoom in.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
That's the best idea I ever heard. Yeah, so always more X-Wing. The next more those Armada ships that comes out later this year. We don't really have a date for them yet.
Right.
Hopefully soon. I'm guessing either October or November.
Yeah, they got to come out before the movie.
That's true.
At least I would hope.
You would think. So Q3 is what they say.
Yeah, because the reason they got to come out before the movie, because any ship that comes, let's say, around or after the movie, has to be from the movie.
Has to be.
I mean, how could they not take advantage of that?
Or they're fired. They get fired from their jobs. From their jobs at which company? Fantasy Flight.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is this a joke?
It's not a trick question. It's a segue.
Okay.
Fantasy Flight, of course, also does many popular LCGs, including the Call of Cthulhu card game. Now, this is really interesting. So there's a backstory here that I did not know at all. I don't know if you knew this, but basically, Call of Cthulhu, the LCG as we know it, is coming to an end.
I had a feeling. This is because I haven't seen any of the small packs being reprinted or anything.
Right. Well, they have one final deluxe box that's coming out soon, and once that comes out, that's it, and the thing is going to be over. They had a really interesting. They talked to the developers and stuff. They posted a thing on their website. Call of Cthulhu apparently originally was a CCG, and they ended the CCG. Because it wasn't making enough money, but because they had some hardcore fans, they put out like twice a year. They instituted this new thing where they put out just a pack of 20 cards, the same cards, not random, like an LCG.
Right.
And those ended up being so popular that they kept making them, and it eventually snowballed into the LCG as we know it today. So I didn't know that. It kind of birthed the LCG from.
It seems funny when we talk about Cthulhu using the word birth.
Right? These ancient evil gods.
So is it just not popular anymore? Or?
I think now it's they say at least partially they've just done all they can. Like, it's been out for like about 10 years.
Now when you say ending, do you mean no more new ones?
No more new ones. However, as you are alluding to, they did say that they plan on reprinting, keeping all the old things in print.
That's the thing, because I know I'm running the store. There's been I know definitely one, but I think it was 2 cycles, or at least most of the second cycle, that I've not been able to find anything to put in.
Yeah, they said they will definitely be trying to keep all those back in now, and they said mostly the smaller ones, the deluxe boxes, might come in later, but for now you can expect it's not going to be gone forever.
I'm not actually surprised at this decision because let's face it, running a lot. They have how many LCGs under their company?
Right, and
they just got the 5 rings.
Yes.
So my guess is they're like, all right, Cthulhu's been going for a while. Let's end it.
Yeah,
for a while.
It seems like the right decision.
I think it's good. It definitely is good for anyone who wants to get into an LCG because now you know I can get into this and never have to worry again about new stuff for a while.
Like they're not going to have tournaments anymore, official ones. But yeah, you can now like officially.
I still need to learn it. I have it on my shelf, but
that too. But you could look at it and be like, "This is the best deck." Like there's no. It's now a complete game.
Well, the main reason for me they have a lot of Cthulhu games too, and I feel I haven't played it, so I would love to hear your guys' experiences about it. But to me, as a card game, I'm wondering like, how does it work? Like, I like how Arkham does it because even though it's long and the process is set up, I think the idea of making it a very thematic thing works very well with the Cthulhu verse.
Yeah,
same thing with the Eldritch Horrors. So I mean, maybe the card game does that as well. I don't know. It'd be very interesting to see.
My guess is that it does, based on what they do with their other LCGs, which are pretty thematic.
Right.
And Fantasy Flight usually does well on that. Mm-hmm. It might be more like I'm thinking of the Lord of the Rings game, the original board game, where it's like I don't know about original.
Well, I actually haven't played that LCG, and that one is story.
I was thinking of not the LCG.
But I know their LCG for that is story. But the way that one works is it's actually 100% cooperative. This one isn't. Like someone actually can play Cthulhu or. So I'm wondering, can you mix cards, or do you only use like Elder Gods? And is it like Android Netrunner, where one person always plays the Elder God guys and one person plays the Investigators?
We'll find out more on our next segment of We Speculate About Things We Know Nothing About.
Yeah, have on our shelf.
But many people watching already do. So yeah, that's Call of Cthulhu. Again, the last expansion comes out in later this year.
Right.
And which there isn't much time left in that year. And we will otherwise not be hearing from them too much.
Right.
So that's pretty much, those are the big stories of the week. Big stories of the week. Anyway. But we have some Kickstarter Pickstarters. I'm going to start with mine.
Love to hear it.
This one is cool. So I thought there were some interesting ones this past week. This one is called Space Team. That name might sound familiar to you. If it does, that's because this was actually a digital game that was an app you could download for free on your phones. I, in fact, have it on my phone, although we've never played it. We could start up a game right now and try it out. But this is, as far as in my memory...
Oh, is this the one like each person has their own thing and you have to ask everyone else, though?
Yeah, so it's sort of like Space Alert. It's a real-time game where you're trying to take care of a spaceship, and it'll be like the Bablorbinator, and I'm not like the names are weird like that. They're like made up words. The Bablorbinator, and you have to be like, someone fix the Bablorbinator, and like one other person has a button that fixes the Bablorbinator, and you have to coordinate that way. So now they're making an actual physical card game version of that. Which I thought I can't think of another instance of a digital game. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah. I know. I can think of instances of other things like that.
But it's interesting because that game, even in its app form, always felt like because I guess it's so reminiscent of Space Alert. It feels like a tabletop game in a way.
Well, to me, like now, I want to get that game, and we need to play that. Space Alert and Space Cadets.
Yeah. There's definitely a good, and you could get XCOM in there too. There's a good theme night in there. But yeah, so that's Space Team. It's a card version of that same concept. That's available now on Kickstarter. So check it.
So from this week, my Kickstarter Pickstarter is Secrets of the Lost Tomb: The Elite Missions.
Yeah. Now what the heck is this?
Well, if you don't know, there's the game The Secrets of the Lost Tomb, which I just received. We haven't had the chance to play because usually. Game that's been hectic. Hopefully this week.
But it's literally just the Kickstarter just came out for people.
Yes.
And now they just launched another one.
Yeah.
So what more could they possibly have?
What this one is pretty much are like advanced missions. They're like it's just a small booklet for like all the elite, like make it very hard.
Okay.
And new stories and like new weird monsters. But what's also cool is I think another reason for this is their Kickstarter probably got so much popularity of people who want it afterwards. You can pretty much get anything from the other Kickstarter through this.
So it's like a relaunch a little bit.
Yes.
A soft relaunch.
Which I'm really excited about, even though I haven't played any of the other ones yet, just because everything from the game so far has just been so cool. I mean, I showed you like some of the modular pieces, like the life board where you actually put it over your character marker and stuff.
Yeah, I do. It does look really cool. I'm excited to play it. I do feel like it seems a little like give people a chance to try out the base game before you're like, now make it harder.
Well, that's why I think this is probably something they've had on their mind for a while.
Oh, they must have, yeah.
And then probably just a lot of people saying, well, where can we get the game? I mean, I would like it if we could even sell it someday.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, hey, if people are backing it, then more power to them. But I just need a little, buy me dinner first.
Well, hopefully soon it will.
They will buy me dinner. That's this new expansion.
Yeah, buying you dinner. Buying Jonathan S.'s dinner. You must enter the temple. From there, you must sneak into the room. But I didn't see any of the tiles because I didn't want to look through all of them. But I think what they should include in this is, for maybe a stretch goal, it should be a tile. It's the room of the silver monkey. I mean, how's that not in? If that's not in there.
Yeah, that's what I envision every time I hear about the game. It's straight up at the game's alley. Yeah.
No, I mean, if you watch the video, it's which is behind us, but the voice they have for it literally reminds me of the talking head.
They must be going for that vibe for sure.
Because that would just be the greatest room. Go in here. You must now. There's actually little pieces. You must solve the monkey. And you see people like, I don't know how to solve.
So if you missed your chance, that game is up now.
Yeah, and I definitely suggest looking at it, especially if you like betrayal.
In general, betraying people.
Betrayal on House on the Hill. Any the Arkham Horror, where it's a very thematic game. This sort of is just right up your alley.
Yeah. We wouldn't know yet, though.
Well, I mean, I read the rules and played
from personal experience.
We haven't done a group.
So anyway, those are our Kickstarters. You can find links below. I did want to talk, because we played some pretty interesting games last week. I wanted to start with the one that we mentioned that we were going to try out, which is the Epic card game.
Right.
From White Wizard Games.
Now, we play with 3 people using the regular draft mechanic, because I personally, that's one of the main reason I bought this, was used as a drafting game. And you as a non-Magic player and me as a Magic player, I want to first hear, what was your opinion about it?
Well, it was interesting, because we also played with our friend Garrett, who both of you are experienced Magic players.
I would say I'm a Magic player. He's an advanced Magic player.
Right.
I'm the guy who plays casually. He's the guy who's winning tournaments.
So there was some. I feel like you guys definitely, there were some things that you were a little quicker to take onto, but not a lot. Like, it wasn't like I know it like. Because I feel like because Magic is its mechanics are so ubiquitous throughout most games.
How many times have we pointed out, reading things like, this is exhausted, or this is flooped.
Right, whatever it is. The only thing was, the battle mechanics were where I kind of struggled to wrap my head around a little.
When I was reading the booklet, the little instruction book, I'm like, okay, get it. And then as soon as I hit the battle mechanic, that's when I was like, that's definitely the most confusing part of the game. Right. I agree with you there.
And that was the only part that I was like, can someone walk me through this?
Yeah.
but
no, I needed to walk through. Before I brought it over, I had my brother, who also plays Magic. I'm like, can you read this? Because I want to make sure I'm understanding this right. My brother's like, they're bringing back banding. Magic had that. No one liked that.
Right, that's what he said. But I guess it kind of works, because the point of this game is to be like Magic without limits. It's basically, you have this card that's just incredibly powerful.
No, that's actually one of the things I want to talk about. In Magic drafting, a pack of cards usually is like a bunch of commons, maybe 3 uncommons, I think. I can't remember the exact numbers. One rare.
Because you each take a pack and pass
at a time, and 1 rare / mythic rare. So, you open your pack, 90% chance, I'm going to take the rare.
Right, why wouldn't you?
Because that's usually the better card. Now, in this game, every time I open it, I was like, oh, there's 8 cards in here that are amazing.
Yeah, there's no rules. There was one hand that went around that this doesn't seem that good. But then most of them were there's 6 cards I want.
Yeah, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Because I never felt I felt each pack was, because what happens a lot in Magic will be, once you take that good card, there'll be a lot of, okay, it's not as much I want this card, I just don't want you to have this card. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more, it's called hate drafting.
Sure.
Because, it's the tactical thing to do, because if there's nothing good for you, just make it bad for everyone else.
I add the hate prefix to a lot of things I do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hate podcasting
in this, that was never, I was never, only once I think that, because mostly it was just and even when I did that, I was because I can still use it. Because in the game, there's 4 colors, but there's no, your casting source, your mana cost, your energy, your money, is not color specific. So there's never a reason. You're never restricted to a color because for that reason.
Right.
I mean, certain cards get advantages for being around more, whatever your color is. But overall, because of that mechanic, though, I really like that because then I was like, oh, I'm going green-white because I was trying to get the tribute cards and stuff. But I mean, like, I'll throw in a red card. I'll throw in.
Yeah, it encourages you to add a little variety.
Well, I think it also makes it a lot easier for like people who aren't Magic players. So for you don't have to think like, oh, you're just like. This reads
good.
Take
what's cool.
You take big. By the way, we should speak. Jonathan won the game.
Yeah, as the guy who did not know how to play Magic. I mean, we should talk about how Garrett was eliminated in like 3 rounds.
Well, I went for him because I was scared of him right off the bat.
And then what you so he didn't have any, like the first turn you don't have anything to defend yourself with.
Yeah.
So you hit him right away, and then you had your card that made you untargetable.
Yeah.
So I had no choice but to attack him again.
Yeah.
So he basically started the game off at half health, which was pretty bad. And then he also had a misunderstanding where he thought 0 costs were more powerful than they really were. Every card either costs 0 or 1. Mm-hmm. That's it. And you get 1 gold per turn.
And the other big thing we should mention is you can only cast pretty much. Magic, you could be like anytime, like instant. There's a thing called a stack in which everyone plays their cards. In this, really, there is no
Take
stack.
that cards, sort of.
Yeah, it's like I cannot play anything on your turn except after you've already said I'm attacking, or like at the end of your turn.
There's specific times, and even then it makes like a certain type.
Yeah,
usually.
so you don't really have to worry about as much about like what your opponent's gonna like do all this crazy weird.
You can.
There is no comboing in this game as much.
Right. Yeah. The only thing is, like you said, with it benefits you sometimes to have the colors, but it's not like you're not playing like 40 cards in a row.
And it just became very convenient for me. I just happen to have like all the right cards to counter him. Like I got a vampire out that would if anytime anything dies. Everyone loses 2 life. I gain 2 life.
Yeah, at one point you had like 45 health. Would you start with 30? So that was.
But it just became funny because I focused on him. You were like, okay, I have like 6 13s on the field.
Just gradually like.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. I want to do more. Double check that battle rules because I'm always since it was the first time we played it, we probably got at least 10 rules wrong.
Sure. 10 to 15.
Especially since I actually think because of my Magic knowledge, I probably screwed up a bunch of things in there.
Like I've heard some people say they just straight up play it with Magic rules. They don't even look at the.
I like these rules better.
Yeah, it's like
honest,
well then
because
I don't know.
I like the casting laws because there's no when things are gonna happen. It's not like your entire turn you're like I play this and just afraid to see what happens. Like it makes it a lot easier less to worry about.
Yeah, and as I said,
the combat is the only thing I would switch to. Maybe. Just because, like I said, you're confused. You're like, I shouldn't.
I just never really understood like when should I attack as a group and when shouldn't I?
Yeah, no.
That's the thing that was weird to me.
No, like from the rules I can tell, you never want to attack as a group.
Because I was always like, I'll put these 3 forward, and then I look around and both of you were just like, I was like, just this one. I don't know.
No, it really is confusing, and that might be the one thing I would look into trying.
Because in my head, I'm thinking of. I guess Dice Masters, which is also confusing with battle rules.
Yeah, no, that's much closer to Magic. It's pretty much that would work is you declare all these attackers. They're each separate. And it's up to me to block each one separately.
It's not like you don't take turns. You say all at once. This is it. What are you doing?
Yeah,
as opposed to.
The big thing is what makes it most annoying, which was really the biggest problem was for you, was if something has flying, can only block by flying creatures. But if you attack with something that's not flying, it seems to lose flying.
Yeah, I didn't understand what you even said.
Like I remember every time it was hard for me to tell you why. It's like, why is that? The rules say so.
So I definitely recommend trying it out.
No, overall, like
it was really fun.
Like you said, you can adjust.
Especially because
I won. Well, first of all, I think it's great to have a game that's really. That drafting is a big thing, but that's not it. Like 7 Wonders, I love the game, but it's really sort of drafting, and that's it.
No, I love it too. All same Seasons, Imperial Settlers, a little bit.
Yeah,
Any game that has that.
I like that this has. You're not drafting for the sake of drafting. You're drafting, then you do something really. I think a lot more with your drafting. That's not just what's the result of what I picked.
It's the prep. That's not all we played, of course.
No, not at all.
We'll move on to Specter Ops.
Yeah, so this is interesting.
Second
time I think it's the second time we've played it. I'm not sure if you've played it a third time.
Nope, second time for me.
This time you were actually the infiltrator.
The agent. First time playing as an agent.
And the first time we should mention, Neil was our agent who played as the spider, I think.
Spider.
The spider. You were the wolf.
Yep, beast.
The beast, and I was the puppeteer.
Puppeteer.
Or puppeteer, one or the other. And this time I was the mind.
The prophet.
The prophet. I already know where this is going. And our friend was the gun.
Right.
Garrett, again.
So it was, it was both times we played with three people.
We should mention you were Mockingjay.
Blue Jay. That's a different franchise.
Yeah, sorry.
So it was definitely interesting. Being the agent is very different. If you don't know the game, the agent has a secret map that they write down where they're moving to, and the other players have to try to find them.
And pretty much you have to reach 3 goals, then exit before we kill you.
Or time runs out. There's also a time limit. So I lost, and the hunter or the agent lost in our first game as well. It's really I want to get into it because it's really I find it interesting how it seems like any game where there's 2 distinct sides like this, like Battlestar or Resistance or anything where there's like 2 teams, that everybody seems to have a different opinion of, oh, in my group, this one always wins.
Have you actually looked up?
This one always loses. Yeah, so I'm reading some things from Board Game Geek.
Before we hear what they say, I'm going to say, from my opinion, of what we've seen so far. First off, I'm really sad that you didn't pick up, you actually chose not to use Mockingjay's exclusive item.
Blue Jay.
I'm going to keep calling him Mockingjay, but Blue Jay.
How does the song go?
Blue Jay, because there was one part I think you probably would have...
Oh, because I didn't use...
But that's because you didn't understand
I misunderstood her special ability, which is the hollow decoy, which
it's a shame because I thought. Yeah, because there was one point we trapped you, and I think that would have thrown us off completely.
I definitely think, also knowing those cards and knowing the hunters, you can always prep better in the future.
Well, that was the other thing, actually, that also hurt you really bad. I knew all the agents. So when you were at the first check, I'm like, he could be Blue Jay, which means he's here, and you're probably just like...
Right. But once, like, Game 3 now, at least for us, we now have seen every hunter.
Yeah.
We haven't seen every agent, but we've seen half of them, and we kind of know how they work.
Right.
We're more familiar with the items.
Speaking of which, let's get to the hunters.
Yeah.
I've realized they fit into 2 groups, and I've played the same group each time. There's what I would say is the offense, which is the wolf and the gun. Then there's the support, which is the prophet and the puppeteer. And if you have one of each on there, I think it's extremely difficult for you. Because I know in both cases, which we'll get to about when we talk about the prophet and the puppeteer can pinpoint you. And what's nice about them is they can be anywhere on the map and they're doing their job. The wolf and the gun, on the other hand, are amazing. But if they're not near you,
they're useless.
They're useless. And that's if they're together with one of the other ones, though, we were just pinpointing you. It was...
Yeah, that was my big thing. The biggest hurdle for me was your ability to... I had to tell you where I was 2 turns ago.
Yes.
Which seemed it lets you, like you said, get a pretty good idea of my location. Especially when there was one turn where I stood still for 3 turns. It was. No,
that was a great move.
It was worth it.
If you had the hollow thing with that, you would have lost us. I'm almost certain if you had that.
That's true, because you would have been certain I went up.
I feel so bad that you didn't understand that, because I think if you had that one item, you would have...
it definitely would have been nice. But so from what I had seen, a lot of people say sort of what you're saying, that basically if the hunters need the puppet or the prophet, at least one of those, not that they're overpowered for the hunters, but that if the hunters don't have them, there's no way they can win almost. At least with 3 people. Yeah, like a lot of people seem to... their games seem to never be able to get the agent, which is the opposite of our experience.
Wait, in general?
Yeah, in general.
Really? Because I feel like every time we've played has been like early on. I'd say it's impossible to catch them to the first checkpoint. You really, as a hunter, your goal is not to stop them to reach the first checkpoint.
Right, because you never, once they get there, you know where they are. Before that, it could be anything.
And even then, it's hard. But no, this is where it gets hard. Usually their first checkpoint, and I think this is where, if I was an agent, I'd change my preference. You guys always get the top 2. The bottom 2 ones are the hard ones because you can get close. You literally can stay in those 2 aisles. So I think I'd actually run for those first, because those are definitely the scariest ones.
Right.
Because I think both times we caught you and Neil in the bottom left corner.
It also makes sense sort of to start at the bottom because then you can go back up. You don't have to double back as much. Yeah, so I definitely think it's one of those cases where it's just a matter of inexperience. That once someone has done it before and they understand more of the items, you get a better handle on things.
Right.
Both sides
and
are more even.
If you misunderstand a card, like you pretty much, I think that would have given you a much better fighting chance. Like I said,
it was though. Although I felt pretty crushed at the end. I think I overall had more fun as the agent than I did as the hunter. I mean, I feel like most games where you can be the one who's hiding, there's always that adrenaline rush of like, oh god, they're right next to me.
Well, I played the support hunter role both times, and I happen to enjoy playing that role in like any other games, like League of Legends on the support. Like, I like that because it's not like my job is not to kill you; it's just to tell someone that way,
Yeah.
that way. Like I'm not my job. I feel like it's harder for me to screw up my job,
Right.
unless you permanently trick. In which case, there's nothing I could have done.
Right. Yeah. That definitely.
But no, I want to definitely try out though the I want to know people's opinions of the the agent Cobra, because all the other ones I would say one has more health, which is still just a run. The other two are about making it harder to hit them or hiding. But Cobra literally is I want you to come to me so I can like beat you up.
Yeah.
I want to know people's opinions. Have you heard people's opinions about agents?
Not specifically, no, I haven't.
But really, it was just if you don't have either the Prophet or...
They said, yeah, those two are really... You need one of those as a hunter, yeah. And I'm sure it also... We got to try it with more players, because I'm curious to see how the game changes.
And that's not including when there's one who's a traitor.
Right, which is also another weird thing.
That'd be weird if you're the Prophet. Like, could you then say, like, where were you 2 turns ago? Wink.
I think you have to... Yeah, you still have to tell the truth. The only thing with traitors, I think, is that you can go through them without saying they saw
So
you.
you guys already know you're on the same team.
Yes, you, as the agent, you actually choose. You hand the cards out, and you decide who you want in your team.
Oh.
So you know if we're playing, Garrett's on my team. Every time.
I still think my favorite moment, though, in the entire game was, I think this is probably why you felt so defeated.
Yeah.
You threw a flash bomb.
It was awful.
Right next to Garrett onto his left. And you're like, I blinded you. And he's like, no, you didn't. Because he was playing the gunner and activated his sniping ability, meaning he only had vision in front of him. So he didn't actually see the flash bomb right next to him on the left.
Yeah, so at that point I just knew, even if he...
Because you had to cross that line.
Yeah, I was toast, yeah.
No, the amazing thing, that's why I think the offensive people, like, that's where their power is. Like, if they're not near you, they're never a problem. But if they're close to you, like the gunner can get 2 shots on you in one thing.
You guys had a good corner on me because, like, those 3 turns when I wasn't moving, there's a reason I wasn't moving because I couldn't go anywhere without getting in front of one of you. Like, it was rough. It was rough.
No, it's definitely like I said, if you want a harder game or apparently impossible game, I would argue use either 2 support or 2, because even if they can find you, I'd say the 2 support are maybe the Prophet because he has to get close to his rolls, gets +2 on his rolls, but the other 2 are the ones where the damage comes from. Or do the 2 damage ones, which means you better be able to find this guy on your own with your own intelligence, not using like the tricks.
Actual intelligence.
So that would be definitely interesting. Would be interesting if you use Cobra with the 2 offensive guys, because the Cobra wants to get close.
Just a full-on war.
Yeah, it just becomes a whole crazy battle.
Yeah, there's some fun combinations. Also, they confirmed that they're coming out with an app for this, so you won't need to use the paper. The agent can actually track movement on a digital device, which sounds great, as well as expansions.
I think when we played that, you said that you wanted an app for it.
Probably, could be pretty good.
Okay, if you had an expansion, what would you want from this game?
New agents and hunters.
I mean, obviously.
I don't really have a specific.
I think
new things.
What might be interesting.
I would like the game to be expanded.
If there was maybe more items added, but in a way that the items could be randomized, like you don't even you don't know, or
we could just do that.
No, but I mean, like, if there's so much more, so you can't be like, because I mean, I think there are only like maybe 4 items. Like, so the hunters could be like, okay, odds are he has the run really fast or the stealthing cloak. Like,
right, those are definitely popular ones.
Or maybe a way to somehow keep hunters hidden or something, so not even.
So you don't know where they are.
So no one knows who anyone is. more like ability-wise.
I don't know, but anyway, that's Specter Ops.
Yeah.
We've talked about it long enough. It's a great game.
We'd like to hear about your guys' experiences.
We have one more, though.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, you don't remember? We played Legendary, too.
Oh, right. I forgot that was the last game when it was very late and we decided to try it out.
Yeah, so I just wanted to briefly talk, because we used some more things, guys, from the Secret Wars Volume 1 expansion. And it was pretty fun. I thought just from...
We barely made it through. We did the scenario, I believe it's corrupting the young...
Something like that.
The use of the heroes of the next generation.
So there were sidekicks, which is the new card you can buy in the deck that were bad guys. And we used the ones that I thought were good that I liked were Old Man Logan.
Well, let's just mention all the new ones we used. Old Man Logan.
They were all new.
They were?
I think.
Okay.
Old Man Logan.
Apocalyptic
Kitty Pryde.
What's his name?
Superior Iron Man.
Bolt.
Black Bolt. And somebody else.
Who was it?
It was somebody I liked too. It wasn't a Spider.
Oh, it was Namor. Namor, the Submariner. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like him then. Which ones did I like? Old Man Logan and somebody else. Black Bolt I liked.
Yeah. So here's how it turned out. Garrett pretty much got all the Iron Man in our group, and occasional some Mariner. You had only one. We were destroying a lot of Submariner, so I want to give him a second chance. But you also got a lot of Old Man Logan and Black Bolt, which I was really jealous of because I really wanted to use Black Bolt. Not because it just came out on your turn. It was good for you to buy. It wasn't that you were...
Yeah, we also were we weren't being very competitive because we
got screwed really early on.
It was definitely... The harder the game is, really, the more cooperative you have to be.
I played mostly Kitty Pryde, and from what I could see of the game, I mean, most of your cards I really want to play with, like all the other groups. Kitty Pryde, I feel like unless you're playing with a heavy tech deck... Because her only good card is this gets +1 attack for every tech card in the hero lineup, or the HQ. I had like one good turn. I feel.
I think what's hard about designing
I should
her.
Say,
yeah.
Her big card's fantastic. I didn't get it. Garrett got it. He got like almost all of them.
Oh yeah, he had tons of money to spend.
I wish I got that card because I think it's hilarious. It's the greatest card that's both competitive and cooperative. Because the card's word is you can play it on outside your turn to cancel any fight effect on a villain or mastermind. What makes this really good, and then you draw 3 cards, is you can either help people, like if you draw a mastermind, like everyone must discard down to 1, you're like, nope. Or if someone got a card like, oh, I get to take an extra turn. Nope.
Yeah, it's a good, anything that lets you choose whether to help or hurt is usually
No, I thought it's pretty much right on what Legendary...
And thematically makes sense.
Yes.
She dodges stuff. But that's why I think that her cards are interesting, because I think it's a challenge. Because, we've talked about this before in deck building games, especially with one of this many characters, you want to really try to differentiate some of them, and especially you want to make her ability stand out.
No, she's different, and I liked her. I think her cards are interesting. I just don't think there's certain heroes you just can't use unless they're set up a certain way.
Right.
Like, there's certain ones will be like, with a lot of X-Men symbols, but if he's the only X-Men group, it's not going to
like all the Fantastic Four, which you can't get right now, so don't worry about it. But, they all work with each other, and there's 4 of them. So if you're not using, at least 2 of them, you might not get such good results.
She's not bad as much as I would say she's a bit more specific if you want to use her.
But I do think it is an interesting thing how...
Also, it's funny, you kept confusing one of her cards for Star-Lord. Because he's on the cover. Yeah. If you're like, you're using Star-Lord?
But yeah, you run the risk when you try to... Because you can't make every character a powerhouse, you know what I mean? But then if you don't, nobody wants to use them.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong, I think, with making someone specialized like that. It's just, it's good to know now.
Yeah.
Now that we know that, we'll be like, okay, let's not use her unless we're maybe using, 2 other heavy tech guys. We were using Superior Iron Man, but he was always being bought up in a second. So tech cards were rarely...
You had a few decent turns, though, where you got 3 attack from the field, which is about as good as you can expect.
Yeah, but nothing else supported it. So, it was very random. You guys, usually your turns you could sort of see coming. Mine was well, let's see if they buy things or not.
Right.
And the worst thing is 90% of the time when it came to you buying the stuff, I couldn't argue about you buying that. I'm like, no, you should buy that Iron Man. That's the thing.
But so we've played with a pretty good chunk of the expansion now. And yeah, we like it.
And, I love it. I especially love the dual cards.
Oh yeah, with the multiple affiliations.
I definitely want to play. Well, like I said, I want to play with Black Bolt again because I love that. I think it's hilarious. We should talk about your turn when you beat Nimrod. And
oh, that's right. We have to talk about that. So the final mastermind, was it the last one?
It's the second to last.
So I was attacking the mastermind for the second to last time before we could win, and his thing was draw a card from the top of your deck and say either attack or recruit points, and whichever one you chose, if the card has that symbol, you get to draw it. So I figured, of course, I'm going to say whatever it is, it's going to be wrong, and that's going to be the end of my turn. I drew like 8 cards that way.
No, you drew like 10. You drew like half your deck.
Just drew like attack, recruit, no, recruit, attack. It was amazing. It was like a psychic.
It was hilarious.
And I had enough to kill him again.
Oh, by the way, we're not talking about the fact because a lot of Black Bolt's cards have both symbols on it. Only one of them was Black Bolt, so it wasn't like he was right no matter what he said.
Yeah, it was uncanny.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to speak about that when it came to Nimrod.
Nimrod, that was the mastermind. His name is Nimrod.
Yes, great name. And we both, because afterwards we talked about it, we really like it's not just here's a 200 attack or something like.
Yeah, he wasn't a fair one.
He was an interesting one. He wasn't difficult. He was.
Because it seems like a lot of the later masterminds, they really just it's harder.
I mean, to be fair, the ones I think of the harder ones are like okay, like Thanos.
They just make me feel like scared. I don't really want.
No, but I mean, like I'm like okay, I understand why, and this is why I like these. Like okay, these aren't the god, like the biggest baddest guys. I mean, I don't know if you know more about Marvel. If you've ever heard of Nimrod,
you know, famous Nimrod. He's like a sentinel guy.
I mean, because I think they made up for that difficulty in how cards can become masterminds.
Right. Also terrifying.
And I love we didn't really get to use it. Only one Savage Land Hulk escaped, or Hulk gang, for the multi-dimensional.
Yeah, where like you have to have a Hulk card with Hulk in it or Wolverine, and if you don't, you get a wound.
But I like that, so I hope the next one has a new Hulk card for us to use, because I know Old Man Logan has the Wolverine dimension, which I think is hilarious. So I really hope Hulk comes out. But overall, I think this has definitely been an amazing Legendary set. Oh, we should just mention just the fact you're getting more henchmen. That alone, it just makes it.
Yeah, so definitely, if you've tried this set out, let us know. Turns out how to fun game night.
Yeah.
So if you had some good games that you played, we'd love to hear about it. Or if you played like Specter Ops, you have some opinions about them, or Epic, really want to definitely hear which cards you like, which cards you don't.
Every rule we got wrong.
Yeah.
Also, Legendary, maybe what you would like to see out of the Volume 2. If you don't know, this is Volume 1.
Yeah, which that comes out. Does that come out this year? I think it might.
Think about it. They probably made it all expecting to be in one box.
Because the normal set is one's in June, one's in like October.
Yeah, they said this. I'm pretty sure they said this was replacing a small box.
They split it up.
Because I think it's because they already made it all, and they're like, we can't fit this in one box.
So that should be pretty soon. So they might already have it.
I wonder if they'll have a special collector's box like this year.
Oh yeah, those are special collector's box. You don't get that cover. You get the other cover. Anyway, so that's it for this episode. If you want to leave us your comments, please do either right below on YouTube, or you can send us an email, rollforcrit@gmail.com.
And let's not forget Twitter. You can reach us at rollforcrit, or our usernames, which are somewhere floating around the screen.
And we will read your messages on the air, your comments, your questions, your feedback. We love it. And as always, you can visit rollforcrit.com, where we have for sale Legendary, its expansions, as well as many other great games at great prices.
And you can find these videos, some of our playbacks, and our other videos, and plus plenty of other news articles that we might not have gone to.
Great, so much good stuff. We just got a Sheriff of Nottingham video up there. You check that out, a lot of fun. Otherwise, that's going to do it, and we will see you next time. I'm Jonathan Estes.
I'm Will Keeler, and this has been the Roll for Crit podcast.